I'm so excited to talk to you about this. Very excited for the show this weekend. Yeah, just big fan of these characters. John had mentioned that these characters allow you guys to sort of identify your true ids. Nick as baby and John as asshole. What have you learned about yourselves through playing Gil and George? And has there been something that's come out of it that's surprised you?
What I've learned is there's no wrong time to do George. Like, even if I'm feeling sick or if I'm underslept or if I've eaten like a pound of Indian food, he's a character you can do under any conditions because he's miserable. Uh, so I've found I can really stretch my limits of of crankiness and gaseousness before I play him.
And I would say I've found that I really enjoy. I never knew how much I liked wearing like lumpy brown leather jackets before, and and also corduroys with no button at the waist. That a belt does as much good work as a button ever could.
Well, the characters definitely feel very rich, and I know they were inspired by some guys that you saw. I'm wondering, as you were sort of developing who these guys would be, was there anything that you considered for either one of them that you kind of played with and then decided was an attribute that should not be included?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's stuff that we've done with them that either, you tire of or just that then becomes part of their canon. So, you know, but I'm trying to think of examples of that. I'm trying to think.
Well, I would say I used to talk a little more about George's children. And one revelation is that George wouldn't care about his children. So
Right.
there's much less dissection of that. There's only passing references to daughters he doesn't care about.
Right. And Gil, it's less about trying stuff on that doesn't fit and more just continuing to discover new things about them. So it like that, before the stage show, we never knew what Gil did. And then we sort of were like, oh, he's an actor. He's like an unsuccessful actor. And that opened up a lot of stuff for us and opportunities for Gil to play with of what he's working on now, what he has been involved in. And so it's more that than sort of not because the stuff that we would we never got very far with stuff that didn't feel right for them,
Yeah. It was less discarding and more discovering.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's easier for people to laugh at old pervs than young pervs?
Well, they're so pathetic. I think it's that they're so ultimately powerless. Because I'd say most women could beat them up. And so I don't know, John. What do you think?
I have the opposite take. I think women are giggling because they're so, the way they would for the Beatles because they're so turned on by Gil and George. Is that not the common take?
That is, according to Gil and George, that is the takeaway.
Yeah.
I've talked to women about Gil and George, and they think that they're like basically old lesbians. They know that not old lesbians. Sorry, they think that they are powerless, weak, spaghetti-armed men who, while seemingly believe they have power and seem to be threatening, are in fact completely neutered, disposable, useless turtleneck hangers.
Yeah. It'd be like if you were walking down the street and there were two old poodles and they were kind of misogynistic and not racially sensitive.
And barked at you.
Yeah, you'd be like, that's a ha-ha, that's stupid.
Well, and not all sex symbols become sex symbols right away.
Everyone enjoys laughing at the death. Everyone enjoys laughing at the slow death of the self-entitled,
straight male jackass. It's just straight white male jackass. It's fun to personify that dinosaur die.